Do you want to understand the tax system in Finland? Congratulations, you just found the perfect video. This tutorial briefly touches on everything related to taxes in Finland. We'll discuss what kind of taxes are there and how much do you have to pay. We'll also put a particular focus on investment taxes as well as crypto taxes. Then we'll talk about how you get taxed in Finland, and then finally, how can you adjust your taxes and potentially reduce them. Also, please keep in mind that I'm just rather inexperienced guy learning this stuff for myself as well as we go along here. So if you spot something that's incorrect, please feel free to correct me in the comments. Also, in the case that anything is unclear, you can ask us in the comments and me and Marcus will try to get back to you as quickly as we can. And also, please don't hesitate to ask Vero's own customer support. They are rather great, at least the times we have been interacting with them, and they don't bite. Okay, let's get into the video. What kind of taxes are there? We'll start with income tax. Now, income gets taxed in 5 sort of major different ways. First, there's the national income tax. Now, this is the progressive tax, which works in the following manner. If you earn between 19,200 euros and 28,700 euros, you're gonna pay a flat 8 euro and then 6% on the excess. Meaning that if you earn 20,000, say, the point is that you pay 8 euros plus 6% on the 800 that exceeds 19,200. Okay, so that's how that works. Also, keep in mind, if you earn less than 19,200 each year, you don't pay any tax on income. Then if you earn between 28,700 euros and 47,300 euros, you're going to pay a flat 578 euros and then 17.25% on anything exceeding 28,700 euros. Then between 47,300 euros and 82,900 euros, you're going to pay a flat 3,786 euros and 50 cents, as well as a 21.25% on anything exceeding the 47,300. Finally, if you earn 82,900 euros, you're gonna pay 11,351 euros and 50 cents, and then 31.25% on anything above this 82,900 euros. Phew! Okay. Quite a mouthful. I struggled a lot with that one. Then, on top of that comes the local income tax. Now, this is going to be anything between 16.50% up to 23.50%, depending on where you live. Then church tax, you're going to have 1% to 2.2%, depending on the particular parish you belong to. Or then 0 if you don't belong to any church at all. So, easy way to cut your tax right there is if you aren't particularly faithful, just ditch church. If that's what you want. Public broadcasting tax is going to be 2.5%. Luckily, this only goes up to 163 euros. So for most people, you're just going to pay a flat 163 euros to keep Yle running and keep like non-commercial news going. Then finally, we're going to have pension and unemployment insurance contributions. Now, this is not really a tax in and of itself. This is more of a rate that gets deducted automatically, and some of this goes towards your own pension and gets invested for you to grow so that you can then get pension when you get older. So this is sort of more like a pay yourself kind of program. These are 7.15% for the pension contribution and 1.5% for the unemployment insurance contribution. Okay, let's try to illustrate all of this with an example. Now, this example is going to be inherently incorrect, and I'll tell you why in a second, but just to get like a brief overview of how all of this works and how this gets calculated, this will do, and I'll tell you the corrected numbers then after the example. Okay, so let's say you live in Helsinki, you make 50,000 a year and you work a regular job. So in this case, the national income tax is going to be a flat 3,786 euros and 50 cents plus another 21.25% on the amount exceeding 47,300 euros, meaning in our case, you're going to pay 21.25% on 2,700 euros. This is going to total out to 4,360 euros and 25 cents. Then on top of that, we're going to add the local income tax. Helsinki's local income tax is 18%. 50,000 times 0.18 is going to come out to 9,000 euros. On top of that, we're going to have the church tax, which in my case is going to be 1% because of the parish I belong to. That's going to come out to an additional 500 euros. Then you're gonna have the public broadcasting tax, which is just gonna be an additional 163 euros. And then finally, on top of that, you're gonna have the contributions, both the pension insurance as well as the unemployment insurance. Both of these together are gonna be 8.65% on the 50,000 euros, which is gonna come out to 4,360 euros and 25 cents. Now, if we add all of these together, the tax you're gonna pay on 50,000 euros is gonna be 18,348 euros and 25 cents. Meaning your effective tax rate is going to be 36.7%. Now, as I alluded to earlier, this is not quite correct, and this is actually great news for us because, first of all, a bunch of things get deducted automatically, which is going to land us in a lower tax bracket. If we make 50,000 euros in a year, we're actually going to land in the 28,700 to 47,300 euro tax bracket. This means that in the end, we're going to end up paying only 15,075 euros, which is an effective tax rate of 30.15%. Quite significantly lower than 36.70%. Secondly, as you may have noticed based on my facial expressions and how I've struggled just going through all of this, this is quite a pain to calculate, but luckily I can say that thank God for Vero's tax calculator. I'll show it off right now. This makes it so much easier. So if you go on vero.fi and use the search function and just look for tax calculator. You can put that into Google as well directly. That's actually gonna work better, I think. Vero tax calculator. Boom, there it is, number one. Go to tax percentage calculator and then you can just fill in everything here as it relates to you, your numbers, and then this thing is gonna deduct everything automatically for you, and you're gonna get how much you pay, what gets deducted, and so on and so forth. And also, if there's anything in addition that should get deducted that you know of, you can add it here as well. So it's gonna ask you all of these questions, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be much easier than what I just did. But this is just for you to get an overview of everything that takes that goes into calculating your effective tax rate. Okay, so this was just the income tax. Thankfully, that was probably the hardest part of this video. Then, in addition to the income tax, we're also gonna have the corporate tax rate, which is gonna relate to you, for example, if you're self-employed. This is a flat 20%. More on that later. And probably the most important of all for our viewers, besides of the income tax, is probably also going to be quite important. We're going to have capital gains tax, and this is where taxes in Finland becomes great, at least in terms of simplicity. You could argue about if they should be lower or higher, probably lower, but at least it's very simple. So, capital gains tax is basically the tax you pay on all the capital gains you made. Now, what does a capital gain mean? That refers to any sort of capital allocation which has increased in value. So, if you invest in stocks, bonds, gain dividends, real estate, this is sort of all falls under these capital gains tax rules. They're going to be slightly different, and I'll briefly mention all of them. Let's start with the most simple example. Say you buy a stock for X amount of euros and it ends up going up Y amount of euros. So you make a profit of Y amount. If the profit you make is less than 30,000 euros in a given year, meaning you sell a stock for a profit of less than 30,000 euros, this means you're going to pay 30% flat tax on that profit. Easy. If it goes above 30,000 euros, or if it's 30,000 euros or more in a given year, then you're going to pay 34% instead. Simple. Now that's for stocks, if you buy and sell them. What about if you gain dividends from stocks? It's going to be the exact same thing, except only 85% of the dividend gets taxed. Meaning, if you make a profit of Y, you only pay tax on 0.85 Y. I made it more complicated now, I think. I'll show you. Say you make a profit of 10,000 euros from dividends, then you take 10 times 0.85 because you only pay taxes on 85% of the dividend, meaning you end up with 8,500 euros, and then you take that 8,500 euros times 0.3 because you pay 30% capital gains tax on that. Hopefully that makes it simpler. Okay, moving on. Tax on crypto is going to be the exact same deal as with stocks. So below 30,000 euros in profit a given year, then you're going to pay 30%. Then if you're at 30,000 or more in profit for a given year, you're going to pay 34%. Then rental income is also going to fall under capital gains. It's going to be taxed in the exact same way. And here's a little caveat. Property tax for apartments usually lies between 0.41%, so below 1%, up to 2%. Then a small little bonus. Whenever you sell stocks for less than 1,000 euros, say I own a stock and I sell it for 500 euros. This is the total amount I sell it for. Don't worry about tax at all. And this is for the entire given year. So if I sell 2 stocks, each worth 600, then I have to worry about tax. But if you have just like a few things in your portfolio that you want to trim, you can get rid of it as long as the total amount that you sell it for is less than 1,000 euros. No problem, no need to worry about tax. Now, how do you pay your taxes in Finland? Well, here I have more good news for you, because for regular employees, the employer actually takes care of this for you, meaning that the employer deducts your taxes automatically from your paycheck based on the tax card that you have in turn given them, usually when you've started working there, as well as in the beginning of each year. Now, this tax card is very easy to get. You actually get sent this automatically each year, but then sometimes you have to adjust it. For example, maybe you just had a salary increase or something else have changed. Maybe you've taken a loan, so now you get to deduct more things from your income. Then to get a new tax card, you simply, again, go to vero.fi. You can just Google it, Vero tax card, and boom, there you have it. Fill this in. We actually have a complete video where we just go through the tax card, how you fill it in, everything about it. I'll show it here. And there we also try to go through a few things that you can deduct to get to pay a bit less in tax. Now, if you are self-employed, then as far as I have understood, and here I might be wrong, I'm warning you on this one, then your taxes should fall under corporate tax. Except maybe if you pay yourself, then that should get taxed as normal income tax. However, again, it's sort of very clear because there's a form, again, on vero.fi. The form is called 3049E. And there, if you go fill that in, send it to them, they'll tell you how much you need to pay in tax based on the information you have given them. Just fill in that form truthfully and they tell you what you need to pay. So there's none of this USA bull where the IRS knows how much you need to pay, but they won't tell you and you need to sort of fill it in yourself, and if you get it wrong, then you get fined. At least this is my knowledge of the US tax system. I might be wrong on this again, but yeah, it's very sort of like cooperative in this way that you just fill in the necessary paperwork and they tell you how much you need to pay. Team effort. Then finally, the capital gains. How do you pay those? Well, this sort of depends on how you've made this money. In most cases, you're gonna have to keep track on how much you make and from where you make it and how you make it. For example, is this dividend income? Is this profit from shares you've sold in a company? Is this rental income? And then you have to declare the previous year's income or the previous year's capital gains, and they send you how much you need to pay them, and you pay this to the tax office. That's at least my understanding of it. This again, I might be slightly off on. However, in some other cases, for example, if you invest using Nordnet sends in the necessary paperwork automatically. Nordnet in that way is quite nice because at least so far in my experience, given I only have a little more than a year, Nordnet took care of that automatically, so that was very nice. Then, how do you adjust your taxes? Well, we've already looked quite extensively at vero.fi, so it probably comes to no one's surprise that this is where you can adjust things as well. In general, if you need to adjust something in relation to your taxes, you do it by using the tax card, which we discussed earlier. Also, if there's something more specific that you want to find information about, their search function is actually quite decent. Also, again, please don't hesitate to ask their customer support. You can use English, we've done so, and they are really good. So if you have any more specific questions, you can ask them. They are the professionals, not me. I just try to show you as easily as I can all of this in one neat little package. But then for more specific questions, I implore you to ask Vero, not me. But you can ask me as well, but I might not have the correct answer. So now, if you would like to learn more about how you could get started with investing, then I would strongly suggest that you check out this Invest Automatically Using Nordnet video that I recently made. Or then, if you want to dive deeper into taxes, we have a whole playlist where we discuss different sorts of taxes in more detail. Everything from more in-depth look at dividend taxes to crypto taxes. We try to look at it all, and we will make more videos probably about this in the future, since it's an important aspect of growing your wealth. So I'll put the Nordnet video here and the tax playlist here. So please check those out. Do it.